Welcome everyone, this is Acid Roots and we've got more Super Mario Bros. 3. So we have made it to World 6, which is the notorious Ice World. Now you're going to notice some things relatively quickly, like slipping. That's the main theme with this. A lot of the previous worlds have been pretty warm weather featured, a desert, an ocean, and a giant world that all were grassy, but now it's time for some slipping and sliding. So, unfortunately, you don't really get a sense of how snowy it is. It really, when you look at the stages, there's not a lot of white all over the place. More so, I would say, in the original Super Mario Brothers, but I'm not complaining. That's just more of an observation. And the difficulty does ramp up. If you were to go on Game Facts or Game FAQs, you would notice that these games are rated on a scale of 1 to 5 in difficulty. Now, I think most people can probably tear through the first 4 worlds with no problem, but 5 and 6, 7, these just do it relatively. But anyways, let's just get to it. So, a lot of people will say about this game that they, depending upon your age, you might remember seeing it in, I think it was a movie that came out in 1989 about how you got to see previews to the gameplay of this game. And it was one of the few times that video games were featured in movies before they actually came out. Now, Mario itself was, I'm assuming that it was a phenomenon back in 1988 or so, because, it had come out, but I don't know, it feels, I'm trying to think of the right thing. I just don't know how much attention Super Mario Bros. 2 got. And so this was the game that was the staple, and I think this is the one with the best memories associated with it. 2 players can enjoy this, and this is generally the thing, but as far as me thinking, the more I play this game, I've watched this dozens upon dozens of times, but I've never actually tried to beat this game myself, and so I don't, really, a lot of people will say, oh, this game was so, they're infatuated with it. It's like a good old-fashioned love for the game, but I almost think I could have lived my life without beating this game, which is really strange, like, I couldn't have lived my life without watching it be beaten, but somehow I just missed the train with saying that, yeah, I have to do this, but here I am doing it, and I definitely feel there's just certain things that you have to do in your life. Like every person will say, you have to own a car, you have to join a sports team, you have to see a movie at midnight at a premiere or something. There's various, you can get adult with these things, but I think if you want to call yourself a gamer, you have to beat at least 1 or 2 Mario games. And, I've definitely passed that threshold. I've beaten Super Mario 64, 120 stars. Don't ask me how I did it. I can't even do it now, but I could 15 years ago. I beat Super Mario Sunshine. I beat Super Mario Brothers, even though I can't even do that anymore. So I've beaten about 4 or 5 Mario games, and a lot of, casual gamers will say this is standard fare, but it's up to you. Um, see, but, more to it. So it's just strange calling yourself a gamer. For most people who do it, You know, how many folks out there will classify themselves as gamers right off the bat? There's your Hammer Brothers suit. You know, it shows up late in World 6. You know, be surprised how many people keep it. But, you know, just calling yourself a gamer and shit, it's like, you know, what games do you have to play in order to do it? Because there's old school gamers, there's sports gamers, there's movie gamers, you know, there's just all sorts of gamers in the world. Hardcore gamers, the ones that look for challenge. I mean, you've really got like five, six different fields within the field that it is. But what I do know is, you know, a lot of what attracts me to games is the color. And I've pretty much owned every single game that was AAA. I used to, when I was younger, I would seek out the best games. I wouldn't get a game because it was, you know, on television or something. It was because it got a 9 or a 10 out of 10. That's just fun fact about me. Sometimes I think I took that to the extreme.